So how do you get started? Well, I've actually summarized a lot of these principles in a publication I wrote during my honours year, just talk about my experience and some initial introductory research designs that you can get involved with no funding and minimal network. But I think, as I said, the main way is to form a network and also to reach out to somebody to guide you. Now, I use Elizabeth as an example through this with permission, but I think she's a good example of somebody who's gone through that process and also has a track record to guide people as well. And in the modern day, we're actually blessed by the resource of the internet. In the past, you'd actually have to know people in person and then know somebody who knew a supervisor who was an expert in this field. In the current day, you can actually just look this stuff up on Google. So say you were interested in pediatrics, and particularly in chronic disease or in diagnostic tests, you can actually research on Google and try and find a supervisor on your own. Many of the institutions have websites that are official, so you'll see there's like an institutional page at the bottom there. There's Google Scholar, which is the most commonly used page for academics, and also there's other profiles like ResearchGate as well. And then with that, I would actually look up their record as well. So this is Elizabeth's Google Scholar, and the reason I've sorted by year is that you need to be well versed with what they've been recently doing and what their current interests are as well. There on Google Scholar, it's presented all of their metrics. So you can look at their H-index, you can look at their growth, you can look at their key collaborators as well. So I think this is initially very, very important, particularly as you're making the first approach to try and get some guidance from them so that your interaction is actually primed from the get-go. Then I would go to their institutional page, so actually read about their career so far, and then a lot of the times the institutional pages actually list their academic email as well. So this is usually the best port of call to reach out to somebody, as you probably won't know their personal email. So this is a template that I use, and feel free to use as well. I've written this as sort of a draft email to Elizabeth, and this is written from the point of view of an intern at Gold Coast University Hospital who's already got some research under their belt as a medical student and is interested in doing a higher degree by research. So somebody who's interested in taking research up to the next level and making a real big impact throughout the course of their career. So I start by, in the title of the email, actually saying what my intention is and actually being quite specific around it. Then it's very important, particularly before you know them, to introduce them by their title, so Dr. Thomas. Then I start with my name, what my position is, where I am, and what my areas of interest are as well. That all should be upfront and should be made very clear. Then you should also talk a bit about your experience so far so that the supervisor knows where to pitch the initial interactions. And then I would always attach my CV on this initial email also. Then I would say very clearly what my goals are from the interaction and what my goals are in the short and mid and long term as well. And so I say there that a goal is actually a high degree by research. Then I would actually not only stop there, but actually put some work in before you actually meet with the supervisor. So the best way to do that is to actually think about it, come up with your own ideas, and look into them. You don't have to stick with them, and the supervisor may advise something better, but the interactions are always stronger and better, and you're going to get more out of it from an interaction and also an output perspective if you've actually done some sort of effort and some sort of groundwork before. So here I evidence that by saying that I'm interested in a Master of Philosophy specifically, so that means or implies that I've looked up what that degree is and entails. And then I've looked up and actually read into diagnostic tests for pediatric chronic disease, which, because I've looked up Elizabeth's profiles online, I actually know is an area of expertise. And then I say what my intention is from the meeting. Then I say that I've actually put together a draft proposal for them to review to prove that I've done my groundwork. And then I say what my intention in the long term is, which is for her as a principal supervisor. Then, of course, just common courtesy things. I say that I can meet at any time and place of your convenience, and then I give my position, my name, and then my contact details as well at the bottom of the email.